Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome to the Moon Your Sister Masterclass in perfect timing to celebrate the new year and the new you. So, if any of you have been mooned before, you know the shock value of it. It wakes you up and it makes you pay attention. And that's what we're going to do here today in the Moon Your System Masterclass because we demand our own attention. So, when we pay attention, we understand better what our body is trying to tell us. So I'm going to introduce you to the reason why, or the reasons why you may be feeling stuck or lost. I'll teach you how to connect with your inner intuition to be able to read your body, to make better decisions, and to gain confidence. So one of the things I'm going to do first is I just want to go over a couple of the logistics. I'm going to have a question and answer period at the end, but feel free to interrupt at any time if you have any questions. Sometimes it's easier to ask and answer the questions as we go through the program. So feel free to put any questions that you might have in the chat. And I am going to shut my camera off because I do tend to get distracted. And I have a couple of cats that every once in a while jump up on the desk and I don't want to distract anyone else. So I'm going to shut the camera off. So give me a minute to do that. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. So I want to get started by talking about, have you ever wondered before, even just for a moment, what it could be like to put that pain and that anxiety and that stress that you're feeling behind you? Have you ever taken a minute to just think, what would life be like if I didn't have that? What if I could stop those repeat patterns in my life? And you know the ones, the dream guy that keeps turning out to have the same qualities that you know you don't want, or the problem coworker, or the problem boss, or the job that you try to love but secretly loathe. Have you ever really wondered what it would look like if you could stop those crazy stories that keep repeating over and over in your mind and just focus on you? Have you ever wondered what it would feel like if you could just let go of the past and leave that past behind you? And what if you no longer worried or cared about what other people think? What if decisions could come naturally to you and you could be confident in all of the decisions that you make? How many of you would love to be able to get there to a place where you come first, where you do things for yourself and you begin taking care of you, the deeper parts of you, and you find happiness along the way? I know that everyone is saying yes, even if it's only in your head, but many of us are afraid. And fear is what sometimes keeps us stuck. But this is where I can help. For the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to be able to show other people who are feeling undervalued and stuck how to use their own unique energy to understand what those feelings mean and how to work with them to stop feeling undervalued and to feel empowered, to be able to dig themselves out from whatever hole they feel they're stuck in, to find themselves underneath layer after layer of conditioning, to finally understand who they are so that they can level up their lives and break free from those repeating stories that are holding them back from so many good things. I've shown my clients how to listen to their bodies to help them to use their own intuition to make decisions that are more aligned for them. You see, we each have a unique energetic design. And so I will show you how to use your unique energy to help you to understand who you are underneath all of that conditioning, because we're all conditioned, whether we know it or not. Every single one of us is conditioned. And so I'll help you to connect with those deeper layers of yourself and get into alignment with your purpose, to find out what your purpose is. These days, not only do I show people how to let go of that old life where they felt like they weren't important or worthy, but I show them how to understand why that happened and how to break free from it using a system that I'm going to share with you today to help you to find your true self and finally live the life that you were designed to live. So if you take a moment to just imagine how all of that will feel, that could be yours. And our imagination is really important in this process. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about that. But I'm going to show you how to live a life full of love and happiness and how to leave that chaos and drama behind you. And I know that this sounds like a crazy thing, but I've seen it myself quite a few times in not just me, but my other clients as well. I have not had anyone go through the program that has not learned something about themselves, has not learned who they're supposed to be, who they're meant to be, what their purpose is. And I'm here showing this to you because I've been through it all the hopeless, worthless feelings that one can have. I've also felt those feelings about myself. But I am very proud to say that I no longer feel that way about myself. In fact, quite the opposite. I've found through this system a love for myself that I never knew existed, and it feels amazing. And that's why I'm here with you today, because I want to spend my time showing you how to moon your system and empower you to take your life back. I'm going to introduce you to a process that will help you get to the root cause of your feelings that those feelings that likely brought you here today. And the method that I'm going to be introducing you to today will show you how to learn more about you, including why certain things have happened in your life, how to stop them from happening again, what lessons you're designed to be lived, or what lessons you're destined to live out, your blessings and your purpose, where you may be acting on autopilot and not even realizing it, and how to use that same process to manifest a life that you love, and so much more. This is where you're going to learn to be confident in yourself and in your decisions, and watch how fast those little tweaks that you make in your life are really changes that are going to help you to grow, and they're going to help make your life better. So welcome again. I want to introduce to you another part of the program that I've included because I think it's really important. And that's the seven universal laws or principles by which everyone and everything in the universe are governed. And those universal laws are a key component of the process because it's really, really important. It applies to all people in all places at all times. And so the laws of the universe are the underlying principles that literally guide our lives. And so there's no way around them. So I want to show you how some of those principles apply and how important it is to learn to apply them. The laws of the universe apply to all people at all places at all times. And it's really important for me to teach you the principles behind your energy first, because if I just come in and do an energy reading for you, it's not going to show you how to apply those principles. And it doesn't give you the understanding that you're going to need in order to repeat the outcome that you desire. Because this process is not a one and done process. The system is repeatable in every area of your life so that you can use it over and over and over again in every area of your life. It isn't one of those systems that you've done before where they teach you a new skill and you only get a little change out of it. This is a repeatable, life-changing process that works on all people at all places at all times. And it uses your unique energy, which gives you the ability to heal your own inner wounds and change your life one step at a time based on your own unique energy. See, we're always growing. And so this is a fabulous tool to have in your tool belt. Energy doesn't lie. It's going to tell you the cold, hard truth about life. Just think about back to yourself about some of the gut instinct that you had or gut feelings that you've had. They don't usually steer you wrong. Sometimes we don't want to follow them because it's not where we want to go, but they're not going to steer you wrong. Or maybe if you've ever been in a relationship where you could feel the ending of the relationship coming before it even happened, that's our intuition. That's our energy showing up for us. It's telling us what we need to do. It guides us and tells us exactly where we need to heal and the things that we need to do when we pay attention to it. Our intuition can show up in so many different ways. Sometimes it's just like a gut feeling or an instinct, and other times it can show up in more subtle ways. And sometimes it operates in these waves where it starts with just a little feeling like you're missing something, and then that feeling grows and grows until we have no choice but to pay attention to it. And if you're anything like me, maybe you try to ignore it or you refuse to believe that there's anything wrong because somehow in our heads it's easier than facing the truth. And then when we don't listen, it gives us a nudge. You know, that thing that causes us to reevaluate? Those nudges get stronger when we don't listen. And then if we still aren't paying attention or doing anything about it, something then happens to pushes us way outside of our comfort zone, and it creates chaos and drama in our lives. And that's the exact thing that we're trying to avoid. But these are things that make it impossible for us to ignore anymore. They start with just a nudge and they move into bigger and bigger and bigger when you don't listen. It kind of reminds me of like the eagle mom who's teaching her baby how to fly, and they the eagle moms just push the babies out of the nest and they just have to learn to fly on their own. And that's kind of what happens to us. We have no control. It's just what happens in our lives, and we have no choice but to face it. So we do that by either falling or then figuring and then having to figure out how to piece those shattered pieces of us back together. Or we can learn how to fly. And unfortunately, I was not one of the lucky ones who figured out how to fly on my own. So I spent countless energy, time, and money trying to figure out a way to piece my own life back together, and in a way that it was going to make me happy. Because at the time, I was extremely unhappy in my life. And what I found was that it took for my heart to be shattered open in order to let the light in. And it's in that light where I found the answers that I was looking for. So I guess I should probably formally introduce myself before we go any further. I'm Jody, and I literally used to be a hot mess. Just a few short years ago, I was completely lost and confused, and every area of my life was falling apart. I hated my job. I had been at the same company for 21 years, and I was starting to resent the people and the place. And I was at a point in my life where, what was I going to do? I've been here for 21 years, but I can't do this anymore. I just didn't feel good about it. I had also been married for just about as long, a little bit longer than that. And I was starting to feel like I didn't want to be married anymore. And I didn't understand the feelings around it. It was just this feeling that I was getting that I didn't think I wanted to be married. I didn't feel a connection. And I was struggling with that because there was no reason whatsoever why I would feel that way. My husband was an amazing man who has always taken very good care of me, my children, my parents. And so it didn't make sense to me. I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. And I just kind of felt like I was lost and alone, unloved, and quite honestly, I felt worthless. And I knew I couldn't continue to live that way. So I started on a journey of self discovery to try to figure out, why is all this happening? Who am I? Who am I supposed to be? And that's what led me to where I am today. Today, I'm very proud of myself and how far I've come, because today I'm a certified and professionally trained quantum human design specialist, an energy healer, an empowerment coach, as well as the founder of the Holistic Energy Empowerment System and owner of Infinite Soul, which is a spiritual based business that specializes in helping people to helping to guide people back to their true selves, who they were meant to be before all that conditioning and negative self-talk got to them. I work with people who are feeling like I used to feel, lost and alone, maybe worthless, unloved. People who are looking to gain confidence and make changes in their life and to find their passion and purpose. I work with people who, at the moment that they find me, they don't even begin to know who they are or how to take back their lives. And they're worried about what everyone else is going to think once they do. Their minds are consumed with worries, and those worries are holding them back, and they just feel stuck. I also work with midlife moms who have spent their entire lives doing everything for everyone else. And now that they've realized it, they are struggling to find themselves, and they don't know where to look. They feel lost and alone, and they have no idea where to even begin. I also work with anyone who is going through more than what they want to bear on their own, and they're just looking for a positive support group to connect with. I support anyone going through a spiritual awakening or just looking to understand their own intuition. And this is a safe space where we can learn about ourselves and connect, because connection is important. And you'll find that as you go through this journey. This is a safe space to try on different options and opinions and learn as we grow. So I've spent the last 4 years or so studying energy and how it impacts us and creating a program that is guaranteed to turn your life around, just like it has mine and several of my clients. And I do make this a guarantee. This is a money back guarantee program. Together, we find the root cause of unhappiness and help to understand the why and to heal those inner wounds that give us the confidence that we need to really go after that dream life. So imagine going from feeling lost and lonely to living the life that you've always dreamed of. I am here to tell you that that is 100% possible. And I, like you, had doubts in the beginning as well, but I am here doing this for you today because it works and I know it works. And so, since you are here, you are halfway there already, because the system that I'm going to introduce you to guarantees that you can have the life that you always dreamed of, as long as you are honest and true to yourself and willing to do the inner work. And I say that because this is about energy, and energy is our thoughts and our feelings. And so if you're not honest with yourself about what you're really feeling and what you're really thinking, then it's not going to work. So you have to be honest and true to yourself and really listen to what your energy is telling you. And I'm going to teach you in the holistic energy empowerment system, we teach you how to do that, how to listen to it. Our thoughts are our energy, and those thoughts tell us a lot about what we need to heal. That's really where our power lies. Our power is in our thoughts and our feelings. That's where our energy shows up biggest, brightest, boldest. So I want to tell you a little story about me that I think is going to help explain how I got here, and maybe some parts of it you might relate to. I am going to get very vulnerable here, so please bear with me and understand that I do also sometimes fall backwards. We're human. It's part of the learning process. And so I may get a little teary throughout what I'm telling you, and that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm falling backwards, but in some cases it does. And that's okay, because life isn't, life is spirals. It's not a forward straight moving straight line. It's just not ever going to be that way. But what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you how to use your energy to understand that, so that that spiral doesn't get out of control, so that that spiral isn't so crazy. It doesn't feel so scary. So here goes. So I've always felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere. Like I might have been the last minute ask, or the one that people were kind of obligated to invite. And I sometimes tried really hard to fit in because I thought that that's what I wanted. And then I often felt hurt by those that I was trying to connect with because it wasn't the right connection for me. I wasn't paying attention to my energy. And that caused me to put up some pretty big walls to prevent myself from being hurt. And then that just distanced me further and further from the connections that I was looking for. And I never really understood why. I just figured that it was my shyness that got in the way. And so I just kept myself protected, backing away from any friendships that I thought might hurt me. And then in 2020, I hit a brick wall. I lost both of my parents within a matter of 8 months of each other. I felt alone and abandoned and isolated. And in the midst of it all, I had other family work and personal problems going on, which distanced me from pretty much everyone. Remember, I told you in the beginning that, I hated my job, didn't know if I wanted to be married anymore. And all of that was going on in the midst of losing both of my parents. And so it was a really tough time for me. But in that aloneness, it gave me time to look at myself, and I explored, who am I from the inside out? I wanted to understand, why did I feel the way that I did? And what I found answered so many questions for me. what I found was that those feelings that I was having were not really who I was, but they were who I was pretending to be. Only I didn't know that I was pretending. See, I had put up so many walls that I now believed myself to be that shy girl that was a last minute or obligatory invite. And when we believe ourselves to be something, that's what we become. Our subconscious mind believes what we tell it. So when we tell it that we're not worthy, we actually cause ourselves to act as if we're not worthy, which is what creates some of that same scenario coming back into our lives. That's the universal principle of the law of reflection. That's how it works. And so then I wondered, well, how did I get that way? And so I was led from one thing to another, which led me to the answers to the questions that I had literally been asking myself my entire life. Why do I feel this way? Well, what I found was that when I studied my childhood and I looked back on my childhood and the things that happened during that time where my subconscious was developing, which is the ages of 0 to 7. My parents got divorced when I was 3 years old, so I now came from a divorced family. The last memory that I have of my dad, the only memory that I have of my dad living at home, was him being in the bathroom and wiping blood from his forehead because he had just gotten into a car accident and pushing me out the door. When after my parents got divorced, my brother went to live with my father and I was not invited. I went to see him on Sundays, but it wasn't every Sunday. Sometimes he just didn't have us. It was scheduled, but he didn't have us. And when he did take us, or me, most of the time, we either went to my grandmother's or we went to the movies and Papagenos. And so, how this made me feel was that I wasn't wanted. I felt like dad didn't want me because he moved out of the house. He left us. But the last memory of him that I have of living at home was him pushing me out the bathroom door. So that tells me as a child, he didn't want me. My brother went to live with him, but I wasn't invited. So it made me feel like I wasn't wanted. When he didn't come every Sunday, that was hard to take because it felt like he didn't want me. And when he did take us or me and only took me to my grandmother's or the movies and Papagenos and home and then back home, it made me feel like he didn't want me in his home. But what I found was that as I started to see how that was unraveling, I realized that normal everyday life situations that I attributed to me actually had nothing to do with me. My parents' divorce had nothing to do with me, but from the way that my brain operated as that 3-year-old child, it took on the meaning that it was because of me. In my 3-year-old brain, my parents were getting a divorce and my dad was leaving because he didn't want me. My dad pushing me out that bathroom door was because he didn't want me. And really, it was because he didn't want me to see him that way. It wasn't because he didn't want me. My brother went to live with my dad because he needed some stricter guidelines. But in my mind, as a 5 or 6-year-old, when he went to live with him, that meant that he didn't want me. That wasn't the case at all. He just needed stricter guidelines than what my mom was able to provide. The Sundays that we didn't get to go to dad's were because he had plans, or sometimes he had to work, or something came up. It wasn't that he didn't want me, but in my 3-year-old brain, that's how that computed. And then the Sundays that we went to my grandmother's or the movies and pizza were likely the days that he was fighting with my stepmother at the time. And I don't really know the answer to that, but I know now that it wasn't because he didn't want me in his home. When we can reflect on our beliefs, it really helps us to change the perspectives and open our minds to other possibilities. Those things that I attributed to my dad not wanting me had absolutely nothing to do with me. But in my mind, as a child with those limited faculties that I had at the time, that's what I believed. And so that caused me to change the way that I looked at things. And it caused me to bring those beliefs into my future, into my life. And that's what caused me to feel like I wasn't wanted or worthy or lovable. Understanding that those things were not my fault and not that it wasn't because of me is what really helped me to break away from those limiting beliefs that were causing me to have that low self-esteem. And so when I operated from that low self-esteem standpoint, I brought more of that back into my life because that's what happens. That's the law of polarity. If my dad didn't want me, how was anyone else going to accept me? There must be something wrong with me. When I go into my life thinking that way, that's how I feel. That's the energy I'm bringing to myself. And we have the power to change that energy when we can go back and change those beliefs. And so this process has helped me to gain so much more confidence and to forgive myself for those beliefs that I had that were not true for so long, because now I understand where they came from. I wasn't stupid for thinking that. It was how my energy was working, and I didn't know it, and I didn't know how to undo it. And there's a lot more to this, and it really goes several layers deep. But just for this masterclass, I just want to get my point across that this is how we subconsciously react to things in life. And it's a good example of how that played out for me. And maybe that's playing out the same way in some of your lives as well. There are beliefs that we have that become beliefs without us even knowing it. And throughout this masterclass, I'm going to show you how this happens. And in the Holistic Energy Empowerment Program, we break all that down so that you can break down those limiting beliefs and break free from those things that are holding you back. And so I do want to mention here that the process does work in every single area of life that we want to explore, whether it's your friendship groups, your love life, your work life, your social life, your relationships with individuals, literally every area of your life. And it's one of those systems that you can use over and over and over again. It's not something, it's a one and done process. You can continue to use it. And as you grow, you're going to see how you can break down these limiting beliefs further and further. So there is definitely help out there. The law of polarity states that everything has two sides. So if you've been having these negative thoughts or beliefs about yourself, then it must also be possible that there's a positive side to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to open your minds to that positive side to that. Open your minds to what power you have within you. There's so much potential when we know how to use our energy. And so I told you a little bit about where I was and how I found my way out. I think it's really important that you open your mind and your heart to different perspectives and use these principles to break you free from that negativity to hopefully open you up to a whole new world of opportunity, a whole new world of possibilities. It all starts with a promise. So I want you to make yourself a promise today, but it's really important for you to really commit to that promise. And if you're not going to do it, then don't bother making the promise. What I want you to do is I want you to promise yourself that you will give yourself the time to at least explore what this is about as a stepping stone on your path to taking your power back. You're here for a reason, and that reason is the exact same reason that I'm here today, and everyone else joining in both now and in the replay is here. So, speaking from someone who was standing exactly where you're at not all that long ago, trust me when I tell you that making this promise to yourself will be the most powerful and healing thing that you may ever do for yourself. So, start this year off right and make this promise to yourself. And the reason I say that you have to really commit to this is because often when we make promises to ourselves, we tend to falter on those promises to ourselves first. And it's not our fault. It's just the way that we've been conditioned. And it's also the way that we got ourselves into this situation. But in order to start putting ourselves first, we really need to learn to keep those promises to ourselves. We are important. We have to start treating ourselves like we are important. And this is the most empowering thing that we can ever do for ourselves. This promise that you make to yourself is literally the beginning of your transformation. And no one has ever taught us how much power we have. And so I hope to introduce you to some of that power today. I don't know about you, but I had no idea that there was even a way to understand what we're feeling and why. And so I certainly didn't know how to find it until I stumbled upon this. But let's face it, when it comes to ourselves, most of us feel, well, guilty for spending time, energy, or money on ourselves. And then when we find something that can change our lives, we get scared and we back off. So I'm asking you not to do that today because you deserve to be able to focus on you, to spend time really understanding who you are and what you really want. As I said, you are important. You need to start treating yourself as if you are important. Because staying where we are now is only going to bring us more of the same of what we're trying to escape from. So give yourself a chance. Start paying attention to your energy. What is your body saying to you? When you get the chills in a random moment, or your stomach drops in another moment, or you have a random thought of someone special, those are all messages. That's our energy talking to us. The energy is the messenger, but most of us don't know how to understand what it's telling us. And this is what we're going to talk about today: investing in ourselves to help support our own personal growth, to show ourselves that we are important. And I think we all know by now that we miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. So if we don't take the time for ourselves and get to the root of it, nothing is going to change in our lives. And our lives are going to be the same a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year, even 10 years from now. It's up to us to bring these changes to ourselves. And in order to bring in change to our lives, we have to be willing to make sure to make some changes and to make sure that we make ourselves a priority. We have to be our own change maker. The price of doing things the same old way is far higher than the price of change. So it's time to do something different. And I'm going to show you how mooning our system helps us to shift the focus to ourselves. So think about it. Have you ever had anything that has shocked you? Likely we all have, but it kind of feels like a wake up call of sorts. It makes you pay attention. That's exactly what we're going to do here today. We're going to moon our system to shock it into awareness. And we're going to moon our system. I'm going to moon your systems by showing you the power and the potential that you have within you. If you've ever been mooned before, usually the first thought that comes to mind is, why would they do that? And it's in that state of mind where we open our minds to other frames of thought, when we start thinking outside of the box, because that's not something that happens every day. So you think differently around it. You think deeper. Why is this happening? Why would they do that? And so when we shock our system into awareness, it really helps us to wake up to our potential. And it opens that window of opportunity to look at things from a little bit of a different perspective. And then it seems to catapult our lives into the future where possibilities are endless and where we can reposition ourselves so that we can reclaim our inner power. So another universal principle that I want to talk about is the law of attraction, because this is very much about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction states that like attracts like, and we get what we focus on. So what better thing to focus on than ourselves? Since the reason that you're likely here is because you want to know how to stop those repeat patterns of pain, stress, and anxiety, what better time than right now to start focusing on you? The universal principle, or the law of inspired action, teaches us that we have to focus our attention on something in order to attract it into our lives. So I hope that you start your journey of self-discovery right now by putting your phone in another room, closing all the tabs on your computer, and giving this time back to yourself. Be interactive, share your thoughts and feelings. Giving something your time isn't the same as giving something your attention. So I dare you to test out this principle by becoming involved. Be interactive, share your thoughts and feelings. This is the first chance that you get to see how the law of inspired action works, by allowing yourself the time to focus on you and your own inner journey. So, what I want to talk about today, what I'm here to talk about to you today, has the potential to change your life. And I know that that's a very scary thought, but just hear me out. This is your chance to put those feelings of not being good enough, worthy enough, or loved enough behind you because you're going to learn who you were meant to be and how to use that power to manifest the life of your dreams. Living that dream life where you feel comfortable in your own skin, happy in your home life, your career is thriving, and your social life is wonderful with minimal stress or worries in any of your relationships. You're having the time of your life. You feel strongly about who you are and proud of who you've become. You're finally making yourself a priority and making choices that put you first, showing others how they should be valuing you in the way that you're treating yourself. And all along, while you're doing this, you're starting to understand what caused you to become the person that you were and how to unravel it. And so you're forgiving yourself for those beliefs that you had because you did the best you could with what you had at the time. That's all you knew. Imagine knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're doing the right thing and that every stumbling block is really a gift, a life lesson to help to lead you to the next right thing for you, all while mending pieces of your broken heart along the way. This is what happens on this journey. And trust me, it's not as scary as it sounds. It doesn't all happen at once. That would be really scary. It happens in time. It's taking baby steps. Every step forward is a step forward, whether that's a baby step or not. So it happens in time, and it's a process that you can watch unfold so that you can see your work in process. And it provides you with proof along the way that it works. So as you're moving forward, you're getting evidence that it's possible and it feels good. One of the most important things that you can do to start the process is to visualize and to really, really think about where you'd like to be and what you want your life to look like. So I really want you to take some time, and I preferably do this as soon as this masterclass is done while it's fresh in your mind. But take some time to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper or a journal and start thinking about where are you right now and where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? This is step one of inspired action. And this is a key component to the process because you can't get to your dream life if you don't know where you're going. You have to have a plan. You have to have a process. You have to have a goal, an end result in mind. And it's really important to have the time that you need for this. So I'm going to give you the instructions on what to do and recommend that you do this right after this class when it's fresh in your mind, but I'll give you the steps here and you can always rewind this and play it later. So it's really important to place all of the focus on you and only you when you first start. So what you're going to do is take some time for yourself and sit in a quiet area so that you can reflect on where you are right now. What does your life look like and what aspects are you looking to change? And write that down. And it's really important to write it down because it's super helpful to look back on it like later on down the road and see how far you've come. And another tip that I'm going to give you is if you can write who you want to be in I am statements, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're visualizing and what's actually happening. And so that helps get that energy momentum moving in the right direction. Next, I want you to picture yourself as that person that you want to be. What would your life look like? And I'm going to give you some questions to reflect on. And you can either write these down or come back to this section in the recording later. And this is not an all-encompassing list. So please feel free, please feel free to add to this. And you can mix and match and add in here. But the goal is to get a very, very clear visual of the life that you want to live. And as you're picturing that visual, it's really important that you wrap your feelings into that. How is that going to feel for you? And so here are some sample questions that you can use. How are people going to treat you differently? And how is that going to feel? How are you going to treat yourself differently? And how is that going to feel? What kinds of things will you be doing that are going to light you up? What's that passion going to feel like within you? What's your life going to look like once you've made these changes? What's that going to feel like? What would your life look like if you received exactly what you want? How would that feel? Picture in your mind, how is it going to feel to be that person? Take some time and meditate on this. How good is it going to feel to be that person that you want to be? What are you going to be doing for work? What great things have you manifested into your life? How has that changed your life for the better? Where do you live and who do you live with? And how does that feel? What does your home look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Is there a special someone, or are you too independent to settle down with someone? What does that feel like? How does that connection feel for you? What does your social life look like? Are you a social butterfly or more of a comforter in your own home kind of person? How does that feel? How confident are you? How does it feel to be confident, to do those things that you never felt like you could do before? And so once you've done all of this, you've now written out a rough sketch of what your new life can look like. You've started the law of inspired action. You've started the law of polarity, pulling that stuff back into you. Next, I want you to think about what is one step that you could take immediately towards that goal. And again, it doesn't have to be a big step, make it a baby step. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Try it. You're worth it. Test it. And I know I told you how important that these steps are, but I want to reiterate this because creating visions for our life brings that energy around it and it helps to build that energetic excitement. And this is the kind of energy that helps us to create momentum around our goals to help us to start creating and then achieving those goals. We have to practice being who we want to be before we can have that lifestyle. So it's really important to be clear on what we want and to put ourselves first. Practice being that person. The power is in you. And so many of us feel like we're alone on this journey. And we go into hiding our own true feelings because we're afraid of what everyone else is going to think. And when I was on this journey, what I found was that how I was feeling was how a lot of other people were feeling. But we don't know how other people feel, and we don't know how other people have been conditioned. And so on this journey, we start to even look at other people differently. We start to realize that we don't have to worry about what everyone else thinks because they come from a different perspective than we do. They didn't grow up in our same situation. They haven't lived a life in our a day of, in our life. They haven't filled our shoes. And so we spend our time feeling bad and we don't want to have to worry about what everyone else thinks. So we hold it all in and we journey on by ourselves. But the truth is, the only thing that's going to break us free from this is to face those feelings. The journey doesn't have to be a lonely one. All of us that are in this masterclass, plus all of the thousands more that are going to watch the replay, we're all here for similar reasons. Our lives need an overhaul. We need to make some changes. And in all honesty, it's a little bit scary because let's face it, change is scary. But when you think about that, change is usually scary because we're either worried about what everyone else will think or we're worried about how we'll feel. We don't want to lose that comfort zone that we think we live in. But those are forms of fear. And when you look up the definition of fear in Webster's dictionary, it describes it as uneasy feelings that imply anxiety and loss of courage. And since that's what we're trying to break free from, we have to get to be courageous in order to get to the root cause. Behind every single fear is a belief, and every single one of us holds beliefs. Beliefs are subjective mental points of view that may or may not be true. These are choices that we personally make to believe something to be true. That doesn't make them fact, but it does create our reality. Our beliefs are what's holding us back, and we have the power to change those when we take the time to dig into them and look at what's behind them. What is the root cause? Where did they come from? Many of our beliefs are ingrained in us so deep that we aren't even aware of their presence. Yet, these are the guiding forces behind the decisions that we make in our lives every single day. And so we need to moon our system to practice this awareness, to be aware of this, because the decisions that we make in our lives are what is creating our reality. So, in order to break free from our reality and those self sabotaging cycles that seem to keep finding us, we have to be willing to look at those beliefs and make different choices around them. So, I want to start by looking at the mind and how it works. There's two parts to the mind. There's the conscious mind, and this is the part that we're aware of. This is our day-to-day life. And then there's the subconscious mind. And this part of the mind takes care of the behind the scenes stuff. And it's kind of like the chief of staff. The subconscious makes things happen quickly and efficiently, and it takes the path of least resistance all the time. So the conscious mind is much smaller than the subconscious mind, and its job is just to keep us aware in the moment. It doesn't hold any memories, and it's very limited in its capacity. It only sticks to the current moment. But the subconscious mind is able to hold a lot more information, and its job is to take the pressure off of the conscious mind. So the subconscious mind controls everything from our breathing to our personality and even our lifestyle. So everything that we've experienced in our life goes through that subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind filters through it all and works with our conscious mind to help make decisions in the moment based on past events. So this causes us to respond based on past events on autopilot. And this is where we need to practice awareness, because we don't want our subconscious mind to just jump back into the past and make a decision based on how we've always made them in the past, because we no longer want to be that person. We want to break free from that. So this means that our conscious mind, the one that operates our day-to-day life, is only responsible for the decisions that we make in 5% of our daily life, and that we live literally 95% of our life on autopilot. So 95% of our decisions are made from a preset belief and attitude, and we don't even realize that's happening. So this is where we have to take our power back, because it takes over those daily decisions, because it's seen us do them a million times before, and it's only trying to help support our conscious mind. So what it does is it makes the decision based on how you've always made them. It digs back into the archives in a split second, and it responds with an answer that matches what we've always done. So that just repeats more of what we've always done and what we've always gotten, and it gives us the results that we've always gotten. And this is why those same situations keep repeating over and over, and why we feel stuck. Our subconscious mind immediately triggers an emotion to push us into action. So without us even realizing it, the next experience has been created. And each of these experiences solidifies a belief, even when we're not aware of it. We are literally just walking through life on autopilot and missing out on opportunity after opportunity. And so I'll give you an example of how this plays out. Have any of you ever driven home from work and you got home and you didn't even remember the ride? That's an example of your subconscious mind taking over. And this happens in every area of our lives. And if you think about it, I'm sure you can come up with things that have happened in your life and look back at how they've happened and what your thoughts were and how you felt around that. And that's what made that happen. So what we have to do is we have to change our thoughts. We have to be okay with being who we are. We have to embrace who we are. See, we're all raised to believe that we're all humans and we should all look, feel, and act a certain way. But in all actuality, each of us is completely different. We are all unique, all with different soul curricula, and all with different unique energetic designs that carve out different energetic paths for us. We don't all have the same goals, dreams, desires, paths, or lessons. And therefore, we can't all be expected to successfully operate in the same way. Yet that's what society tries to teach us. Of the over 8 billion people in the world, each and every one of us is different. No two people are exactly the same. In other words, it's okay to be different. It's how we were designed. We've all also been conditioned by societal expectations to become someone that we're not. Life is not a costume or an overcoat where we can take that one size fits all approach. There's so many intricate details, and each and every one of us has different energies and different lessons to learn, yet we're all told what to do and how to do it by society. When we do something outside the norm, society reacts, causing us to feel like we did something wrong. It makes us feel uncomfortable. So we sock that away in our memory to never do that again. That's where our walls come from. We build these walls, and it's in our protection mechanism. But this changes who we are, and it causes us to lose ourselves. And none of us is immune to this. It happens to every single one of us in one way or another. This conditioning is what has made our personality. That's what makes this difficult, because it hurts our heart when we hit our identity. But what I'm telling you is that our identity is really the person underneath all of that conditioning. We think our conditioned state is who we are, but it isn't. Well, at least it doesn't have to be. We get to be the ones to make the choice of who we want to be. And we have the power to change that. We need to be the ones who decide what our lives look like, set goals, and start taking aligned action towards those goals, one baby step at a time. Take your life into your own hands. There is so much power in our thoughts, more than what we realize. So the more we think about things, the more power we bring to creation. So just like a seed planted in the ground that grows into beautiful flowers, those are the seeds that we plant in our subconscious mind. And it's from those seeds that we create. So our power is in changing those subconscious thoughts. So think about it. When we follow the same routine every day, thinking the same thoughts and performing the same actions, we're producing the same emotions, which is going to produce the same results. But if we start thinking different thoughts and taking baby steps towards our goals, as you start to see things shift, you're going to have different emotions and you're going to start to see different results. You get to be in charge and decide what it is you would like to manifest. And then the best part is you get to test it along the way. So you get to see how it feels. And if you don't like it, you get to tweak it. You change the thoughts. You create what it is you want in your life. This is where your power is. And I'm going to show you all of this. Many of us believe that the solution to what's causing us to be miserable is outside of us. And that by removing someone or something, it's going to help us to move on and let go and forget the past. But the solution to what's bottled up inside of us is not going to come from outside of ourselves, yet that's where most of us go first on our journey. So have any of you ever scoured the house or the office or the car, looking everywhere for your glasses or your keys, retracing every step over and over, only to find that your glasses were on your head and your keys were in your hand the whole time? So this is what we do to find answers. We look everywhere outside of us, but the answers to our own lives can only be found within our own hearts. But most of us don't take the time to go within and do that search, or we don't know how. Some coaches say that our subconscious thinks it's somehow easier if it's someone else's fault, but I believe that it's more like we don't know how to go within, because that's where I was. That was me. I was always looking to find a reason by analyzing the scenario over and over and over again, trying to figure out what everyone else was thinking and why I felt misunderstood. I was looking outside of myself. I had always looked outside myself. I didn't know how to go within. I truly had no idea that I even had those powers within me, never mind how to use them, how to find them, or how to use them. Using the different aspects of unique energy, I was able to put together a way to really dig into the trenches of our own lives and find a way for each of us to truly find ourselves and feel validated for the way that we felt in the past, because we found the answers to the whys that we've been asking for our entire lives. So this process walks you through why all of this has happened, and it teaches you what lessons you're here to learn. When I first started on this journey, I was scared. I didn't fully trust it. I had literally been studying all these different energy modalities on my own and putting different things together to try to figure out what worked and what didn't. But I took the leap of faith and I tested it every single step of the way. And the more I resonated with what I was learning about myself, the deeper that I wanted to dive in and learn more. And so the process has shown me how to connect with myself, how to use my own intuition to feel comfortable in my decisions, and how to love myself even through the hard times. This is not an easy process to get through because it does require us to go within, and going within sometimes hurts. But what I can tell you is that as we feel it when we're healing it, we are creating the energy to create something of ourselves that we really had only dreamed about up until this point. It's shows us how to really connect with ourselves and learn to love ourselves and forgive ourselves, because we truly have done the best we could with what we've had. This process is going to walk you through the manifestation process in your own life to help you to create the life that you want. And if I could give you one tip out of this entire workshop, it would be this. Our brains don't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we are being is what we want in our lives. And this is, again, why that promise to ourselves that we did in the beginning is so important. Because if you can't keep a promise to yourself, how are you going to be able to walk through this entire process where you're devoting to yourself? You have to commit to you. And I want to repeat this because it really is powerful. Our brains don't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we be is what we want and who we want to be. And this is really important because this is where your visual that you did in the beginning, or that we explained in the beginning, is really, really important. You have to be able to get to a point where you can feel these. When you can feel that energy around it, you can believe it. And so there's a lot in this slide right here. So I just want you to take your time to digest that, because this is the key to manifestation. Imagination is critical to this process. And this is why we did that visual in the beginning, to help you to start generating that energy around what is possible for you. One of the things that I learned from my corporate days was that I have to get to the root cause if we want to eliminate a problem. And since our lives are a reflection of our thoughts, it makes sense to start there. So thoughts are generated by the firing of neurons and the transmission of synapses in your brain. And while that all sounds complicated, all it boils down to is thoughts are energy. And that energy is all around us. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, they are all energy. When we are made up of 99.999% energy. And so our story gets created from our energy. And energy plays a key role in who we're here to be and the life we're here to create. The power of change is within each and every one of us in the form of our energy. Energy controls absolutely everything, including our health. And that's why nothing that we've tried, like therapy or meds or other alternative coping mechanisms, were working, because none of those address our core energy or our core belief systems. We're not all the same. We've all had different experiences. We all have different energies, and how those two mix together in our lives is what creates our experiences. So when you start to look within and address the meanings that you've given to your beliefs, you start to change your story. And when you change your story, you change your life. And the best part about this is you get to pick the story. There's so many ways in which our energy shows up for us. It's constantly talking to us. Its job is to help guide us through life. But we're not told that we have this energy or how it works or how to use it. So this process is going to lead you through all of that. It teaches you what it is and how to use it for you. It's personalized and it gives you the step-by-step process in the holistic energy empowerment system. Each of us has our own unique energetic design. There are no two humans that will ever live out their life the same way. Yet in the society that we live in, we're all conditioned to live life the same way and follow the same standards. And some of those make absolutely no sense at all, yet here we are living that way because that's what society told us to do. So it's no wonder that we get confused with who we are on the inside because we're not given an opportunity to get to know who we are on the inside. We're the ones who need to make the changes in our own lives because if we don't make the changes, nothing will change. The role that we have filled up until now in our life is changing. And so we need to change. This is how we grow. And the way we need to do this is by understanding who we really are on the inside. And so we do that in the holistic energy empowerment system by studying our unique energy. How does it show up? Where do you feel it? How does it feel? What lessons is it teaching you? Energy is literally the most powerful things in our lives. So few people understand its messages. This is the key to unlocking our secrets. And it's backed up by people like Nikola Tesla, who was a genius before his time. Albert Einstein, who was known as one of the most influential scientists of all time. And quantum physics, the scientific study of matter and energy at the smallest of scales. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And Tesla says that if you want to call something into your life, you have to do that by matching its vibration. And what I teach you in the holistic energy empowerment system raises your vibration. It helps you to learn how to raise your own vibration. The law of vibration states that everything in the universe is in a constant state of movement, and all matter, thoughts, and feelings have a vibrational frequency. And this dates back to ancient civilizations. So this has been used to explain everything from energy healing to the law of attraction. Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but get that reality. Quantum physics studies the behavior of matter and energy at the smallest of scales and scientifically proves that energy is not created nor destroyed. It only changes vibration, and that everything is made up of energy. So it only makes sense that if we want to make changes, we need to focus on our energy. And so that's what I'm going to show you about. I'm going to teach you about here. Energy is the key. Holding on to negative energy has a far bigger impact than we realize in our lives. When we don't process our feelings, it creates internal pressure, and that internal pressure creates more thoughts and emotions that matches our thoughts and adds to the stress and anxiety in our life, and it lowers our vibration. So without the proper metabolism of this energy, it creates stress and anxiety, and it leads to negative self-talk. And when it's not nurtured correctly, it can lead to mental and physical health problems. And I don't know about you, but no one ever taught me about that growing up. I always thought that it was normal to have negative self-talk. And I definitely never knew that it could literally make me sick. But there was a experiment done with water where they measured the vibrational energy of the water. They taped words to the bottom of the glasses. One was "you make me sick" and the other was "love." And you can see they left it overnight, and at the next day they tested the molecules of water. They looked at it under a microscope, and you can see the molecular structure of the water had changed. And the one that said "you make me sick" was not a very pretty picture, and the one that said "love" was a beautiful snowflake. And so it's really important that the way that we talk to ourselves is nothing but positive, because we deserve it. We need to do this for ourselves because no one else is going to. Energy has to move freely. And when we put up those barriers within ourselves, those walls, and you know the ones, the walls that we put up to prevent from being hurt again. It's those energetic barriers that cause a disturbance in the transportation of our energy, and that's what causes disease. We have what's called meridians in our body, and these are the channels that direct the flow of energy throughout our body. It's sort of like the circulatory system directs the flow of blood, but this is where your energy gets directed. And when we try to control things, it interrupts that flow, the energetic flow of the energy, and it causes us to have blocked or low vibration. And that's what causes illness. When we understand what our unique energy is and how to work with it, it really helps us to keep that energy flowing at a higher vibration to help keep those meridians happy and keep that illness at bay. So it's really important that we learn to work with our own unique energy, because energy is the guiding force of our lives. It's going to lead us directly to the areas of our life that we need to heal. It can explain the patterns that have been repeating in our lives, and it can lead us to core wounds so that we know exactly what to work on. When we listen, it shows us exactly where to focus. It teaches us lessons, and it helps us to practice forgiveness and self-love, and it can even promote healing in our own body and mind. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. This means that we have the power to transform the energy that's guiding our own lives. So using our energy to get to the root cause of our feelings helps us to better understand our energy so that we can learn from it and shift that identity. Our identity is not who we are, it's who we believe ourselves to be. And so right now, your identity is that conditioned version of you. But when we start breaking down that conditioned version of you and we start to see the you underneath that, you start to see how powerful you really are, how lovable you really are, how worthy you really are. Each of us is born with a unique energetic design that shows us where we have consistent access to energy and where we may borrow it from others. And just like our identity is unique to us, so too is our unique energetic design. Our energetic design breaks down our own unique energy to show us the story that we were designed to live out. And it's in that personal map that we find the story of who we truly are on the inside. Our unique energy can tell us so much about ourselves, yet we were never taught how to use it. And so that's what I'm here to help with. I studied all things energy and found that by combining them, we can get a really clear picture of who we are. It's a blueprint of the story of your life. An energetic design is it's like a GPS system of your life. It's a guidance system that leads you to unlock the doors of your own unique path. It shows us where to look and which energies get metabolized where, so that when we pay attention, we can find the lessons in life and use them as catalysts for our growth. And most of us have felt this in some way or another, but it goes so much deeper than what we even realized. So maybe you felt this. Have you ever walked into a room where you could feel the tension, like you knew something was going on, you just didn't know what? That's your energy vibrating. That's your energy talking to you. And if, as you might expect, if you've ever felt that tension in a room or even worked with a crabby coworker, that's not just your energy, but you can actually take in energy from others and amplify it. And that's why even if you went to work in a great mood, when you have to work next to like Debbie Downer all day, it's draining. They project that energy onto you all day long. And when you don't have the power of understanding your energy and you don't know how to increase your vibration, you suck all that energy in and then you amplify that out. But there is a way to recognize this so that you can become aware of it, so that it doesn't interfere with you and with your day, so that you can still have a great day, even if you do have to work next to Debbie Downer. Each of us is born with our own unique energetic blueprint, but most of us don't know that we even have this. So most of us kind of stumble through life and really just try to figure it out, or at the very least, try to make it work to get through another day, another crisis. But this is just an example of what some of the energies that we carry are responsible for. And our own unique definition in human design shows us exactly where we have consistent access to energy and where we may borrow it from others and how that works. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through this screen. This is a body graph. This is kind of what human design looks like. This particular screen shows you the energies in each of these energy centers. And when we run our own unique design, you're going to find that some of these centers are white. And when they're white, that's where you take on energies from other people and amplify them. And when they're colored, that means that they're defined. And when they're defined, that's where you have consistent access to that energy. So your responses are going to show up the same over time in those areas where you're defined, because that's a comfort zone for you. But where you're open is where you're going to take in energy from other people and amplify that. So that's not even your energy. And so in the holistic energy empowerment system, we teach you what that is and how to recognize it so that you know when you're operating from a place of love and self-love and value for yourself, and when you may not be. So what if I could walk you over that bridge right there to a new reality? Imagine feeling comfortable with who you are, proud to stand up for what you believe in, and confident in the decisions that you make. Just take a minute and feel that. What would that feel like for you? What would your life look like? How would your world change? And some of those aspects that you thought about at the beginning that you would like to see change, this is the step-by-step process that I will walk you through each step of the way to turn your life around. Robin Sharma says, everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in the reality. And if you can dream it, you can do it. So like we did at the beginning, just take a moment to picture yourself on the other side of that bridge as that self-confident, happy, and content version of you, the one that you are proud to have become. What does that feel like? How good does that feel? Let me walk you step by step across this bridge to that new reality, a reality that you have only been able to dream about in the past, but a reality that truly will be a dream come true. You hold the power within you to make those changes in your life, and I'm going to prove it to you by showing you what it is that's blocking you and how to use it differently to learn and grow from it, instead of allowing it to keep you stuck in those cycles of pain and anxiety and stress. I was once where you are, wondering how to get out of this, how to change my life, how to get across that bridge. It was in my search for those things that I found the answers and pieced together this system based on the universal principles that allowed me to not only see, but to believe in my own superpowers. I was able to raise my vibration and bring more happiness and abundance into my life. And that's what I want to do for you. This is when everything changed for me, and this is when it changes for my clients. The system has put me in a unique position, and definitely not one I ever pictured myself being in, but I have the power to help people to heal themselves from the inside out. And I have a passion for sharing it because I know how much it can help to truly know who we are and what we want and how freaking good that feels. I will walk you through every step of the way and provide you with a safe space for weekly group meetings with a team of people providing support like you've never had before. In this meeting, we support each other and help to keep everyone on track, because we all do fall off every now and then, and this journey doesn't have to be a lonely one. Why not do it together? And when I say support like you've never had before, I mean it. Our group is filled with others who are feeling just like you, so they get it. They know how difficult this journey can be, but they can also show you how it can be to overcome and how much it can change lives. We're all on this journey together, and it makes it much less lonely when we have someone else who's been there, done that, to guide us and support us through it. There's no judgment in this group. We're all here to support each other and guide each other toward working on ourselves. And as I said earlier, we've all been conditioned in different ways. And so there is no judgment. If there are things that you have done in your life that you feel are terrible and they're hurting your heart, Those are things that are holding you back, and those are things you got to let go of, and it's okay to talk about them because you're putting it in the past. You're making the decision to move forward. You're making the decision to create something of your life. So there is no judgment. We are supporting each other on this journey, and it's an awesome, amazing group to be sharing energy with. We can be our own worst critics and we become our own worst enemy. But in this group, we don't allow that. We support you on this journey. We work on guiding the thought process towards growth. What did I learn from that energy, as opposed to kicking ourselves for something that probably happened that way to teach us a lesson, but we didn't really understand that that's how it worked at the time. It's time to forgive ourselves and put that crap behind us. We're only moving forward. We're focusing on the now, and we're envisioning towards the future so that we can make our lives what we want it to make. And the energy of this group is amazing. Just that alone is feel good energy. And all of us could use a little dose of feel good energy now and then. So allow me to introduce you this life-changing process that will put you back in the position of power, changing the trajectory of your life. The solution to your problem. A system that we call the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. This is the last program that you will ever need when it comes to discovering yourself and understanding what makes you tick. It's literally the missing piece to you. Your vehicle for freedom and peace. This is the piece in your healing journey that's going to allow you to become the person that you always dreamed of being, living your dream life and loving your dream life. This is the miracle that you have been waiting for. And the difference between this program and every other program that you've probably tried is that this program uses each individual person's unique energy, because we're not all the same. Each of us is different, and we each have our own energetic design. So this program focuses on you and your unique energy, allowing you to relate to what you're learning and meshing it with your life so that you can start seeing those patterns and start picking those patterns apart. And one of the things that I found when I started this journey is that we live our lives based on experiences, and we're never really taught how to use our unique energy to guide us. And that's its actual purpose in our lives. Our energy works for us, whether we're aware of it or not. So it's important that we use it in a way that's more empowering. It's what keeps us alive. It's the vibe people get from us. It's who we are. It's the part of us that we thought we didn't have any control of. But when you know how it was designed and you know how to respond to life, it lights up differently, and it helps us to become the person that we've always dreamed of being. Our energy lays the foundation for what our life becomes. And when we understand it, we know how it is designed to support us, which allows us to change the beliefs that we created as a child and to start looking at things differently. And that's when our lives start to change. This is the energy that needs to be broken down to get to the root of it. What is it? Where does it come from? What does it mean? Why do I feel this way? Why does this keep happening? What should my next step be? All the answers to all the questions that you've been asking yourself your entire life. And this is what we help you to do in the empowerment process. This process answers all of those questions, and it teaches you how to grow from what you learn about yourself. You learn what to watch for, how to interpret the message based on your own personal energetic design, and how to transcend pain into power to help you to take charge of your life so that you never have to feel less than again. So if you have related to anything that I've said here today, and you're committed to your own self-growth and development, and you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and face some pretty tough memories, I guarantee I can help you. This system is a system that you will not regret being a part of. You're going to make connections, deep soul connections, that are going to help support you along this journey. If you're anything like me, you've probably had thoughts of, like, many different thoughts randomly popping into your head. And some of them are thoughts that maybe you haven't liked, and maybe they're not nice about you and you want to get away from them, but you don't know how. Thoughts like maybe you're not good enough, you don't deserve that, that'll never happen for me. He or she is out of my league, or they're too good for me. These are all limiting beliefs and these are holding you back. So what would it feel like to understand what your thoughts mean and to be able to grow from working with them instead of being held back by those limiting beliefs and fears that sometimes take over our thoughts? One of the most common comments that I get from clients while going through this process is, I feel so validated. So one of my clients, Jessica, she said that reading descriptions of my energy is like reading my own journal, and I feel justified for having these thoughts. I felt this way for so long, and there it is in black and white. There's so much freedom and knowing that I'm not the only one has thought or felt this way. Because we often think that our thoughts are our own and that nobody else understands and that nobody else feels that way. But the truth is, there's a lot of us that feel that way. There's a lot of us that allow those limiting beliefs to block us on our path, to stop us from creating all of those things that are within our power. And imagine the freedom that you'll get from the validation that it's normal, that it's part of who you are. And even more freedom comes when you start believing in yourself and making yourself a priority because you know that you deserve it. Step by step, one baby step at a time, you start to become the person that you always dreamed of being just by following your unique energetic design and believing in yourself. Our thoughts are energy. So the program is outlined in a way that I guide you every step of the way, walking you through the principles of why you're having the thoughts you're having, what that energy, where that energy is coming from, and how to change those thoughts. Understanding how to pick those thoughts apart to help you to determine if they're in your conditioning field or whether they're part of your energetic design, and how to unravel all of that. And you then take that information and apply it to your life to find the patterns, thoughts, and feelings to help you to break those down. Sometimes we get stuck and sometimes we need a little help. And so we have a weekly support group that's instrumental in helping each other to look at things from different perspectives. Our energy is designed to help us grow. So the energy that we live with every day is here for a purpose. Those thoughts are here to help us to problem solve and to look at things from different perspectives. This is how we grow. And by decoding our human design, which we do in the Holistic Energy Empowerment System, we're able to unlock the lessons that we're here to learn in this lifetime. We're able to see how our energy is designed to play out for us so that we can work with it and not against it. It gives us the cutting edge on understanding life, and it brings us closer to our soul. Our connections are more soul connected, and it feels good. It feels lovely. It feels like love. And this is what the Holistic Energy Empowerment teaches you. It teaches you how to read the energy in your own body so that you can use your unique energy to lead you to directly where you need to heal and unlock your potential. Everything that you have ever wanted is on the other side of fear, and we can help you to push through that fear and get to your dream life in a supportive way. So just think about that for a minute. What would it be like to have the life that you always dreamed of? Even if you had just a portion of what you fantasize about, what would that feel like to be that person? How good would it feel to be happy, confident, alive, powerful, comfortable in your own skin? What would that be worth to you? So I'm going to tell you that I have spent upwards of probably 20 grand on educating myself with the different modalities that I've studied and put into this course. I've studied everything from human design, gene keys, astrology, numerology, all of these different modalities that I've put together, NLP, all of these different courses that I've taken, and I've put bits and pieces from all of those together to create this system. And I did look into other programs just to see what people were charging for something like this, although there's not really anything quite like this because I created it myself. But there are similar things out there. And those programs are selling anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. And I even came across one that was $15,000. And so I wanted to keep it well under that because I want to make it affordable. I want to help as many people as I can. And I think it's really important to have the ability to help ourselves, to take the time to get to know who we are on the inside. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this, because I believe that we together can change the world. So I want to keep this really affordable because I think it's really important to have the ability to help ourselves and take the time to really understand who we are. If I could, I would give this away for free, but I do have costs that are associated with running the program. And I really want to keep my lights on because I love what I do. And so I'm going to make it affordable. And I'm going to promise you that the transformation that you will get out of this when you put in the work will change your life. And I know that you're worth it. And so I hope that you know you're worth it too. Up until now, most of us have probably repeated the same painful story in our life over and over and over again. And so now we have to make a choice. So you have two choices. You can keep doing what you're doing and stay stagnant in the pain, or you can sign up to join the Holistic Energy Empowerment System and start going within to work on you and to get guaranteed results and a support system that's with you every step of the way. You don't have to go through the hard and scary times alone like I did. I'm offering you a support system to help you to get through it, along with access to a proven process to pull you out of the pain and catapult you into a new you where you value yourself enough to finally put you first. I'm so confident in this program that I'm going to take on some risk here, and I'm going to make you a promise. I'm offering this at a fraction of the cost of other similar programs. And I'm so confident that this program is going to help you to make the changes in your life that I'm making it risk-free for you as well. So if within the first 3 months of the program, you're still struggling, I will work with you one-on-one to guide you so that you cannot fail. And if you still decide that it's not for you, as long as you can show me that you've put in the work, I will refund your money. I would just ask that you provide feedback so that I can review and see what it is I can do to best support you and our community so that you don't get left high and dry, and I can continue to make improvements in the program. You have absolutely nothing to lose. You get all the information on your unique energy, the benefit of the support on both Facebook and in our weekly group meeting, as well as one-on-one time with me. And there's absolutely no way that you can fail. You just can't fail. And I'm going to be by your side the entire way. And this is unheard of in the coaching industry, but I am so confident in this program and in your commitment to yourself that I'm willing to put my profit on the line. I'm here to support you every step of the way because I believe in you and I know the possibilities are endless. And I also know how fun exploring you can be. This is a win-win process and you can't go wrong because you're going to come out of it knowing so much more about yourself than you ever even realized was possible. You're going to know yourself on a deeper level and be able to make decisions that are aligned for you and your energy so that you get to control what goes on and who gets in and who gets out of your heart. It's all within your control. Does that sound fair? Would you be interested in something like this? Remember, this is your life you're talking about. And your life's not going to get better by chance. It gets better by change. And you have that power in your hands right now to make this change. And I'm even guaranteeing your success here. You're going to come out a completely different person if you take the time and put you first and put this, what you learn, into practice. This journey is all about you. It's a personal journey of discovery where you learn what your unique energy has been trying to guide you towards and how to finally listen to it, to allow it to lead you to your purpose so that you can live a life filled with love, happiness, and joy. This is how it's done, by finally putting you first. So start now by enrolling in our program and taking the journey with us. So I know it isn't always easy to spend money on ourselves, but this is where we learn that we are worth it. I've priced it low enough that it's less than a cup of coffee per day. And the benefits that you're going to get from this are going to last the rest of your life. You can use this process over and over and over again. And as I said, this is not a one and done system. You can literally use it on every area of your life for the rest of your life. And in the program, we show you how to use your thoughts and your feelings to guide you to where within yourself you may need a little extra love. So the New Year, New You sale price is $333, and that gets you 12 months of access to the empowerment system, 12 months of access to the weekly empowerment group, which is a weekly call that right now is scheduled on Tuesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this group is honestly the best part of the program. And you'll get 12 months of access to the dedicated support group, which is also amazing because at any time you can reach out and ask any questions. You can support others. You can ask others to support you. You can tell your story, share your story. You can ask other people to share their journey with you so that you can see things from different perspectives. And so there's also two other options. Sometimes we do need a little bit of extra support on this journey. And so the signature option allows you 3 soul alignment sessions with me on top of all of what you get in the regular program. So you still get the 12 months of access to the empowerment program. You get the weekly group and you get the dedicated Facebook group. But in addition to that, you get 3 one-on-one soul alignment sessions with me where we go over your chart in depth and we break that down so that you can understand what your energy, your unique energy says about you. And that is priced at $514. And you have 12 months to book those 3 soul alignment sessions with me. So that's the signature program. The platinum program is everything in signature, everything in the program, everything in signature. Plus, you get an additional 4 soul alignment sessions for a total of 7. And so that allows us to dig really deep into your chart and to really figure out who you are on the inside. So if you make the decision to put yourself first and put the effort in, there's no way you're going to fail. I'm here with you every step of the way. You have full access to me in the Facebook group, weekly access to me in the group meetings, and opportunities to connect with me in other ways. You have access to the program at any time. You can skip ahead. I don't recommend it. I recommend following it in the way that in which it's laid out, because it's laid out that way for a reason, but you do have full access to that, all of the bonuses. And then as I add additional things to my program, I add it to this program as well. So you get all of that new stuff as well for 1 full year. So this journey is a journey of self-discovery. So it does take effort on your part, but when you combine your effort with your energy, you cannot go wrong. So I hope that you are going to make the decision to put you first. And if you have any questions at all, you can book one-on-one sessions for me. Jump inside the free Facebook group before you sign up, and you can ask questions there and I will respond to them there. We can book a call, one-on-one call, if you have any questions as well. So I want to walk you through how this works. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And so you're going to click on that link and it's going to bring you to my sign up page, and you're going to enter your name and email address. I can walk you through that. So right here, you're going to put in your name and your email address and your phone number. And then you're going to click on go to step 2. And when you get to step 2, you're going to see there's several different options to choose from. And these are all the same program. So what you want to do is you want to choose the program that you want and the payments that you want. So we do offer monthly payments on all of the programs. Each program is offered with 12 monthly payments. The regular program is $33 a month. The signature program with the 3 soul alignment sessions is $48 a month. And the platinum program with the 7 soul alignment sessions is $65 a month. Well, I guess it's 8 soul sessions, and that's $65 a month. And so You choose the option that you want, and then you want to put in coupon code thankful to enjoy an additional 10% off when you pay in full. We do have limited spots in the program, in the platinum and the signature program, because I want to be able to connect with you and support you on your journey. So I only have the time and the energy right now for 5 spots in the signature and platinum program. So if this is something that you want, I do recommend that you sign up today so that you don't lose out on this opportunity. As I said, there's only 5 spots available, but this allows me to be laser focused on you and your unique energy. And so please be sure that you watch for my emails when you sign up, because they may go to spam. So check your spam folder and make sure you mark me as safe. I know in my email it goes to spam, and I usually mark it as safe, but every once in a while it goes back to that spam. So keep an eye open, because all of my communications will come through to through the email. And so keep an eye on that, please. And so I'm going to put the enrollment link in the chat, and the enrollment is now going to be open for you to sign up if you so choose. As I said, you're going to get 10% off if you use coupon code thankful and pay in full. And so I just want to recap real quick. The steps that we talked about that are going to help to put you in line with who you want to be are really important. And it starts with visualizing. So make sure that you visualize what you want your life to look like. Really take that time, use your imagination, get clear, get specific, feel it, smell it, taste it, touch it. Don't hold back, because everything that you dream is possible. Make your vision as clear and specific as you can. And then you're going to set goals towards that goal, and you're going to start taking aligned action. And remember that even a baby step is a step forward. And you're going to start practicing awareness. You're going to keep mooning your system. You're going to do things that you've never done before. You're going to step outside your comfort zone, and you're going to try new things. And you're going to practice awareness. You're going to start paying attention to what it is your energy is telling you. And oftentimes when our energy is pushing us towards our fears or to step outside our comfort zone, we often will put those walls up and back away and not do what it is our energy is guiding us to do. But our energy is guiding us to go towards that uncomfortableness. Use those feelings that you have as a barometer. Use your thoughts as a barometer. Let them push you outside of your comfort zone. You're not going to grow if you don't step outside that comfort zone. Dig into your thoughts. Why do you feel that way? Get to the root of it. Learn about your unique energy. How is it designed? What is it guiding you towards? Where do you feel the most passion? Face your fears, step outside your comfort zone, and make you a priority. Change your thoughts, change your life. This system helps you to do that by showing you the lessons that you're here to learn and how to master them. So there's only one thing left to do now. It's time to put you first. So I'm going to post a link in the chat, and then I'm going to answer any questions that you might have, or I'm going to answer any questions, some of the most common questions that we have. Any questions that you might have, please reach out in the Facebook group, or you can email me at hello@jpecenergycoach and jpecenergycoach.com, and I will answer any questions there as well. But the best place to do it is the Facebook group. That way other people can see it too. And if you're not a part of our free Facebook group, make sure you go on and sign up for that. It's definitely a group that will give you some additional tips and tricks outside of this program. There's a lot of people in this group. There's over 900 people right now. So there's a lot of good energy there, and it's good healing energy. And so remember that the soul alignment sessions are limited, and that's a first come, first serve basis. So if you are interested in that, please be sure to sign up today. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. Hopefully you all have access to the chat. Okay, link is in the chat. That's for the program. And so I'm going to go over some of the most common questions that I get, and give you a little bit of time to understand the benefit that you will get from this program. So, one of the questions that I get a lot is, am I too old to take this journey? And I will be honest with you, there are a lot of older people in the program, because I think it's when it hits us that, we go through midlife. I know for me, it was what I thought was a midlife crisis, but it was a midlife crisis that I turned into a spiritual awakening, because I was at the point in my life where I was like, oh my God, I've already lived half my life. Where am I going to go now? What's my life going to look like? And I got scared. So there are a lot of people midlife and older on this journey, but anyone can take this journey. You are never too old, never too young, you're never too anything. It doesn't matter what your background is, what you do, what it is you're trying to free yourself from or bring into your life. As long as you do it with heartfelt intention and you follow the laws of the universe, which are the core principles of life, it is possible. This is a spiritual process, so you have to be okay with spirituality. It's a personal journey to find out who you really are on the inside, and that identity that's hiding underneath the fear and the questions. Why don't we value ourselves, and how do we find our purpose? These are the questions that we answer in the holistic energy empowerment system. So anyone can be successful on this journey as long as you have a desire to make changes in your life and you're committed to yourself throughout the entire process. One of the other questions I get is, what if I can't find the answers I'm looking for? And so this question comes from a point of an area of where you have a limiting belief, because you believe that you can't find the answers that you're looking for. But the answers to most of the questions that we have are actually inside of us, and we have the power to use them to guide us on this healing journey and create that life that we love. It's all in our energy, and our energy tells a story of what we're here to learn. Our energy tells us how to understand who we are, and gives us the ability to master that story, to learn to create exactly what we want, and knowing how to use that energy appropriately. And again, it's not a one and done system. Once you learn this, you'll know how to maneuver through the rest of your life, putting you in the driver's seat of your own life. This is the manifestation process and one of the most powerful tools that you will ever need in the journey of life. And the journey also helps with manifesting. And so oftentimes people will ask me, well, how does this process help with manifesting? Every invention in the world has been created at least twice, once in a person's mind, and then the second time when they actually create it. Our mind, our imagination's role in our life is to help us to spark that creativity to create. And when we think thoughts that are disempowering, that's what's being magnetized back into us. And that's why it's important to be sure that the thoughts running through your imagination are heart-centered and empowering. And that's what we show you in the holistic energy empowerment system. We show you how to live from a heart-centered place and to raise your vibration. And a lot of people ask me, well, why should I buy this from you? Well, I have put a ton of time, energy, and money into learning how to stop those repeat patterns of chaos and drama, and how to stop being taken advantage of, stop allowing everyone to walk all over me, and finally be able to take my power back. And I can save you a ton of time, energy, and money, because I have put all of this together in one kit for you to just be able to literally plug and play. I've discovered the exact process that can help you to find your unique energy and learn to use it in a way in which it was designed specifically for you, so that you can take your power back and I can help you to create a life you love. I want to save you time, energy, and money, because I indulge in a lot of that. And it took me a long time to get myself out of that pain, to free myself from the pain. And so I want to give you just one simple toolkit that will help you to follow a step-by-step process to break free from those pains and those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. So when you imagine your dream life, go big. Don't hold back, because the more you believe about yourself, the more you achieve. And this has been proven by people like Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Steve Harvey, Jim Carrey, Albert Einstein, Jay-Z, J.K. Rowling, and so many more. All people who have overcome adversity and created their dream lives from little to nothing. It is possible. All it takes is dedication and determination to find that self-love within. So I have had so much fun sharing my passion with you today. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your energy with me. That really means a lot to me. Each and every one of us has this power within us. It's within our own unique energetic design. And I hope that I have somehow inspired you in some way to really get to know yourself and to become the creator of your own life instead of standing by as life passes us by. So I would love to have you join the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. And I would love to be a part of your support group on this journey by coaching you through your design, where you're going to learn what each aspect of your energy means and how to put it together and what's going on in your life to understand the lessons that you're here to learn and how to master your lessons. So cheers to a happy new year and to a happy new you. And let's start off 2024 on this healing journey. I'll see you inside the program. Thanks again.